What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some news and updates for Destiny 2. And there's plenty of conversation regarding the game, including changes to talk about going into the raid launch this weekend. So we'll talk about disabled items, and Bungie have expanded the list of items which will be affected. Additionally though, they confirm Xur's armor rolls are bugged, and they touch on other issues with vendors. Then on top of this, they clarify some upcoming fixes for the game, and tease some unique rewards for the raid. And then we've got a few other things to round up in the video. So as always guys, I hope you enjoy this one, and if you do, feel free to subscribe to the channel so I can keep you posted on Destiny content. And now let's get into it. And starting out today, Bungie gave us clarification in their most recent update about their plans for Wellspring weapon drops. And they clarify that their aim is to increase the drop chances for both standard and deep sight versions of weapons from Wellspring, and they're targeting next Thursday for that update. The same applies to Ascendant alloys. Originally we had thought that this one was going to drop this week. And they say they're increasing chances of receiving alloys through Master Wellspring completions, not just by the difficulty tier of the activity, but also based on your completion level. And this will mean higher chances at earning Ascendant alloys for gold and platinum completions, and those can be earned by defeating champions and completing the activity quickly. But they say they'll continue to monitor and adjust the drop rates as the season continues. So another important update to the game next week. And separately, they also say they are monitoring some feedback about Gambit and heavy weapon usage. And with heavy ammo being available from clearing fronts as you collect motes, it's become far easier to have a tracking rocket or two in the tube, prepped and ready for an impending invader. They also note that Galahorn is particularly potent, and then a note on invader frequency, and they say, while tuning to general invader frequency has helped to reduce back-to-back invades from occurring as often, we're still seeing some general feedback that it can be difficult to handle invaders, especially during primeval phases. And they also say they're monitoring reports of lengthy boss phases thanks to skilled invaders, but especially in association with the primeval health phase and the changes that they made going into Witch Queen. However, they don't have a specific update planned for that just yet. So give us any thoughts you might have below. And moving on, Bungie do have some additional items which have been disabled due to the launch of the raid. And we'll break down the core of the info they've given us for the raid launch in a couple of moments, but for now, they've also said due to an issue, the Suppressing Glaive artifact mod has been disabled in all activities. And DMG added on Reddit to clear up some confusion, this has been disabled game-wise as we don't have a tooling to disable specifically in the raid. Right now, we're able to directly target activities where armors or weapons are causing problems, but mods have a different back-end setup, so our current tooling can't restrict them in a specific way. However, the team will be investigating changes for the future to let us do this. And otherwise, for the moment, Suppressing Glaive is disabled across the entire game. And we're not sure when they'll put these things back online, potentially after the raid has been completed in the day one, although it could take longer, so we'll have to wait and see. Again, we'll round up some other additional items regarding the raid in a moment, but separate to this, with the arrival of Xur over the past couple of weekends, players have been pretty disappointed with the low armor stat rolls that he has. And so DMG said the team is investigating an issue where some armor stat rolls on vendors are lower than intended. Once we have details on a fix, we'll let you know. Then he adds, this doesn't mean that Xur will have the highest stat rolls every week after the issue is fixed, but they should be higher than 48. And so hopefully Xur will be getting that fixed soon, as of course for a lot of players looking for better stat rolls, as of course for a lot of players looking for different stat rolls, it does take away that potential usefulness that Xur has. And next, something to mention in the video, but the reward for the exorcism mission that we were supposed to get last season has finally been added to the game, and presumably you have to have completed that mission to be eligible to get it, but just in case you haven't picked it up, for eligible players it should appear at the helm. And so we can finally go and grab that reward. A couple of bits of feedback that Bungie have responded to though, and players on Reddit pointed out that going to the Enclave breaks your activity streak. They also point out that that isn't the case for other destinations like Xur's Loot Hoard or the Helm. So DMG said the team is aware and it's likely to be fixed in a future hotfix. On top of this though, players also pointed out that Master Raoul doesn't quite have the same costs as the Spider did. And Bungie had previously said that exchange rates should stay the same. However, Raoul is charging more for planetary materials. And DMG said the team is aware of this issue and working on a fix. Plus they've identified another issue where focusing Gambit engrams is a bit more expensive than intended as well. So plenty of updates and changes still to come down the pipeline in the launch phase of Witch Queen. Up next though, in Bungie's most recent update, they outlined some important details for the launch of the raid this weekend. So in these final few hours, if you want a heads up for what to expect. The raid will kick off on Saturday, March 5th at 10 AM Pacific, and that'll be 6 PM here in the UK, and the race timeline will run between then and Sunday, March 6th at 10 AM Pacific. And in that first 24 hours, contest mode will be active, And they say artifact power is enabled, but it will only provide the benefit to players up to a cap of 1530 power. So players will need to reach 1530 power by Saturday to have a fighting chance in each encounter. On top of this, some gear items will be disabled in the raid for the duration of contest mode due to general issues that could provide gameplay benefits. While these items may be used in other activities, perks and functionality on the following items will be nullified within the Vow of Disciple raid, with additional negative impacts on power levels if equipped. And so essentially the things we won't be able to use include the Ikelos SMG and Imperial Needle Legendary Bow. Both of those weapons are doing more damage than intended at the moment, which is why they're being disabled. And then they're also going to disable the Grand Overture Exotic Machine Gun and Wardcliffe Coil. So a few important items there in terms of weapons, but also for armor and mods. The Wormgod Caress Titan Exotic Gauntlets are being disabled, as well as the Peregrine Greaves Exotic Legs. Those two aren't necessarily super surprising. However, for anyone who is planning to use the Glaive in the raid, the Suppressing Glaive artifact mod is also not going to be usable. So a few things to think about regarding builds and setups and stuff like that. Plus, it's also worth noting that Enhanced 1-2 Punch and Enhanced Pulse Monitor are both currently disabled, so Bungie are having to curate quite a few elements in the sandbox. However, in terms of completion rewards, initially the first team to complete all encounters, loot the final chest and return to orbit will earn the title of World First, and there will be a raid belt. But for players who complete the raid during contest mode in the first 24 hours, there will be a unique emblem, which is pretty cool. And outside of the raid race, they also show the general raid emblem, which is really awesome as well, with this kind of color prism thing going on. Let us know if you're looking forward to hopefully picking those up. Then they revealed the icon for the seal pin for the raid. So of course this will also be the title icon, and via the Bungie store, it's revealed that this will be called Disciple Slayer, and of course the objectives for that raid title will unlock once the raid becomes available. And so quite a few cool things there to bear in mind, and as far as we know, we are likely to see the launch of some additional content after the raid. We've seen that with previous expansions, so it will almost certainly be the case for a few different items after the raid's completed, and I'll be sure to keep you guys posted when we get any details about that. But for today guys, that is what we have to speak about inside of this video, so as always, I very much hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, a rating down below would be super appreciated. Also, get subscribed to the channel and turn on notifications if you want to be kept up to date with everything else related to the game. However, for now, as always, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope that you guys have an awesome day.